What is going on, Maverick fam? Your boy Dion back with another episode of Epic Rants. Hope you guys are excited. If you are new, this is the series where you guys can reach out to your boy, ask me anything. Could be like more of a get to know or a question. It's usually more question based and more serious based. And if I have 2 cents to drop on it, I do. All right. The email is ReachiMav@gmail.com. If you are in a hurry or you just, may not be feeling all the questions here, I try to timestamp them. Sometimes I don't get to it. So you guys can help me out in the comment section by timestamping. And I can either pin that, thumbs it up. So if I didn't timestamp it, maybe someone else that had the time to get to it will timestamp it. And I can copy that, put it in the description later. But yes, so you can also skip through questions that may not apply to you. All right, let's get it. So my man Isaiah says, basically, and some of you guys write some awesome paragraphs, man. I literally could cry if I spend too long in this because I appreciate you guys that much. But I'm basically saying he is been rocking with your boy for a while, graduated school in 2014. How old are you? 21. And he's trying to be financially stable, get his own place, get a car, all that good stuff. And he wants to do it being an artist, but he feels like sometimes he's stuck on a hole and has nowhere to go. And he feels like giving up, but I can't just do that. I need to know what to do. Well, if your goal is to be successful and right now you feel like quitting and giving up, I will tell you, great job. You're on the right path. You're doing something right, because that's how everyone feels, right? Everyone feels. There's this really good, I don't think it's like a meme, but it's like a picture or a caption that says, what people think success looks like, and it's like a straight line from like A to B. And then on the other side is like what success really looks like. And it's got a squiggly, it's all these squigglies and blah, 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 and then it goes up. And that's what it is. And so it's not going to be easy. I think we live in like the microwave age, like the microwave mindset. People think you can just get hot like that, because it does happen. But that's not really, there's no formula to that, right? Sometimes people just blow up out of nowhere and people try to duplicate that, kind of like people win the lottery sometimes. And people try to duplicate that, and you waste your whole life trying to hit the lotto and you never make anything happen. So I think in terms of, if you want to increase your odds of having success, you need to really have a plan and be patient. It might take you, you got to be ready to put in 5-10 years, sometimes minimum. It used to be a lot longer, but I do think we live in a time where you can make things happen fairly quickly. It doesn't have to be like 20 years or be too long. And so yeah, I would definitely be like, 5-10 years. This is what, if you really want to be an artist, then cool, you're 21. You're 21. And I don't know what you mean. I don't know if you mean music artist. I don't know if you mean painting or whatever, but yeah, I think you should do that. I think you should realize that you should be in it for 10 years. It doesn't mean it's going to take you 10 years, but you should be prepared. If that's really what you want to do, why would you quit? And so in the meantime, maybe you find ways to supplement your income in other ways so you can focus on your craft more. Maybe you learn things like, in the last episode, I kind of showed you guys how you can get started making money online. If you do that, then you are your own boss. You can have a YouTube channel and you can have money that you make on your own time, to where no one's dictating to you that you got to go to a 9 to 5 and do this. You can have this time off and you can't. So you have more flexibility in chasing your craft, or should I say chasing your dream and mastering your craft. I would also look at other influencers in your space. So again, I don't know if it's music, and then from what music, if it's music, what type of music, or if you're legit talking art, I would look at who's the top influencers in that space and look what they're doing to get themselves out there. I know what's really good, and I retweet and I watch a lot of the videos on like social media where people are like drawing cool stuff and it's like sped up. I would do that. Again, if you're talking actual artists, I would do that for everything. Like the NBA finals are going on right now. I'd have art, or at the time I'm making this, NBA finals are going on. I would do LeBron James, Steph Curry art, boom, showing off my skills, let that go viral, build you a following. And once you have a following and you have people's attention, it's not too hard for money to flow after that. Money follows attention. So from there, you can monetize it in other ways. You can obviously sell your own work. You can sell courses on how to do what you do. And so, I think you can build a YouTube channel and monetize that. And it can be a multifaceted. You can do the actual art itself and promote that. You can do a vlog and document your journey as an artist. Again, this could be music or actual drawing. And if you're talking about actual songs, then you just reverse it and do songs. And you document your growth from nothing to something, and you have a vlog. And so yeah, that's what I would do. if I were you. But if I could say this in a nice way to everybody that's struggling and wants to quit, it's part of the game. Don't be a little hoe. Suck it up. Because some of you you're learning that you might not be cut out for it. We're about to see. This isn't easy. Like, people see the YouTube channel, they see the followers, and they see the, people that I meet when I'm out, and they say, oh, it's just fun. No, it's sacrifice. You know what I'm doing? You know, when I'm recording this on a day where I had to stay up. I only got 2 hours of sleep. This next night that I'm about to experience, I'm probably not going to sleep, but I'm gonna be up until the next day. I'm gonna get on the plane at 4 and hopefully try to sleep on the plane because I got some business I gotta handle. And I'm gonna be out of town for about a week, and I just got in town yesterday. So and then before that, I had to stay up before I went out of town to make sure that you guys have content. Like, there's just a lot of sacrifice, and it's not easy. And I feel like 9 out of 10 people in my shoes, just off the street, would quit. And that's why there's a lot of unsuccessful YouTube channels, because it's not easy. It's hard. Business is hard. Being a high-level athlete is hard. And people quit every day. So you can make your mind up there on what you want your life to look like. Are you going to be that person? Then bet, quit. If you say you really want to be an artist, well then, Ninja, be an artist. Boss up. Make it happen. Now, I say that that's like the new motto, man. Just boss up, dog. Boss up. I say that with love. I didn't say it very nice, but the world ain't nice. And I don't want to be too nice because I don't want you to get comfortable. You should be uncomfortable. You haven't achieved your dream, so get on the grind. All right, got a good one here from my man Patrick. His question is, he says, I'm 14, I'm from Jacksonville, I'm extremely passionate about football. Unfortunately, I do have minor cerebral palsy. Why can't I say that? Cerebral palsy. There we go. That affects my muscles, but other than that, I'm pretty normal. But anyways, when I'm older, I want to go to the NFL. I do try to put in time to work out, but seeing as I have a disadvantage, it's already hard to get in. Should I try another route or just keep trying? Shoot, man, to be honest, I don't know 100%, and here's why. I do remember having a friend in school, my man Jake, who did have cerebral palsy, and he was in a wheelchair, right? Obviously, in a wheelchair, you can't be in the NFL. But you said yours is minor. You said it affects your muscles. So I don't know the effect of that, right? And so I talk about self-awareness a lot, right? And I'm all about that. I do think there's, and I'm like hesitant to say it. I don't like to say realistic, but still, if I'm being real, I guess that probably is the best word, realistic, right? I think God made us all unique. We all have different strengths and weaknesses, and it's awesome, right? That's the beauty of humans. We have so much variety, and some of us are born short, born tall. For things that we really want to do, there are times that we can overcome some of these shortcomings. For example, you got people like Spud Webb, Muggsy Bogues that are really short, and typically if you're really short, it's hard to be in the NBA, but they made it. Hey, what's that other dude that's really short, Juice? Nate, in the NBA. Nate Robinson. Like, you can be short and be in the NBA. So I don't know that if you have a small muscle disadvantage, that doesn't mean that you can't be in the NFL. Only you know the extent of that. And so I remember the show that my wife and I watch a lot. It's called The Challenge. On MTV, they gotta do a lot of physical activities. There's this one guy whose hand is disformed, and so he doesn't have a hand. It's kind of like a nub. And he was in there balling, taking people out. And so you have situations like that where you can overcome disabilities and make things happen. But only you really know, can you really run? Can you jump? Can you catch? Can you do these different? If you can still find a way to do that, I don't think there's anything wrong with pushing to make that happen. I love that. That would be such an inspiration to so many people. If it is a little bit more severe and you can't really keep up, not from a lack of work ethic, just generally, just with the cards you were dealt, you can't really keep up, then I don't think it's bad to pivot. If you really love the NFL, find a way to be in the NFL. You know what I mean? You can be around it. You can be, maybe you can learn the game and try to get into coaching. You can surround yourself with the team. You can be like a manager, ball boy, towel boy, a water boy, whatever. If you just want to be around the NFL, you can do that. Become a businessman, get uber rich, buy an NFL team. You know what I mean? There's ways you can be around the NFL and not necessarily play in it. So if you're passionate about that, I don't think it's bad to pivot. I think too many times we have people that are made, and Miles Monroe breaks down in his book, The Power of Purpose, and I showed it to you. I think it was in the very first Epic Rants. Go watch it. I can't remember the name right now. But he talked about, certain people are born to be certain things. Some people are born to be a lamp. Some people are born to be a bat. If I have a baseball bat on a baseball field in its domain where it's supposed to be, I'm going to be very successful with that baseball bat. I can take a lamp and take it onto the baseball field. And yes, technically, if you throw a pitch at me, I can hit it with the lamp, and it might go a few feet with the lamp, but it's not going to be effective long term as a bat, because it was made to be a lamp and it's going against the grain trying to be a bat. When it's a lamp, it should be shining bright. And so you need to figure out, what is your lane? What is your strengths, your weaknesses, your domain? What do you think you're put on this earth to be? And of course, that comes from being in God's word, spending time with him, and not being afraid to try different things and see where your passions lie. But with that context and being realistic about your physical health, don't be afraid to pivot. I hope that helped. I hope that makes sense to everyone, not even just him. All right, we got another question from my man Jack. He had a really good email too, man. I appreciate you. He said some really nice things. Basically, he's been rocking with your boy for a while. But he said he went to Catholic school growing up, from kindergarten to 8th grade. But basically, he feels like now he's slipping with his relationship with God. He finds himself doubting and just really being worried that he's, dedicating his whole life to something that could be false. Like, he could be just wasting all this time believing in God, praying, going to church, all this stuff. And, when it's all said and done, he wasted his time. And he says, yeah, but he had a lot. He told me how he found me, and just had a lot of nice things to say, man. So I appreciate you for that, Jack. I think this is a good question too. So he is 18 now. He's got a job working at looks like he's got a pretty good job. So I'll try to be quick here because I feel like I've answered similar stuff to this, so I don't want to be too repetitive, but it's kind of different and kind of a good question. But I would be careful, man. I would say, one, all right, I'm not going to turn this into like some big apologetics class, right? I think I do a good job of giving you guys 2 cents, giving you guys a direction, right? And if you want to dig deeper, that needs to be something that you take upon yourself. That one of the worst things you could do is try and live your life and get all your information through me. Because then you're like, man, what if I don't answer your question? And what if I answer one, then you have a follow-up and I don't get to it? So I like to set you guys up to succeed, lead you in the right direction. Hopefully that's why I give you books and I point you here or point you there and say do this, so that you can take what I said, maybe it plants a seed, and you go out and you look it up on your own and you say, you know what, this is true, I rock with that. Or you say, you know what, no, I don't rock with that, okay? And so I don't want to turn this into a big apologetics class on proving that God exists or this and that. I want to plant seeds, and you guys really got to do your homework. You guys got to do your own work. You look up, like, these questions that are burning you look them up, okay? But for questions, I try to not halfway answer them. But when we're talking about stuff like the existence of God, you have people that got degrees on degrees on degrees that debate this stuff for hours on end, and those are super fun to watch. I love watching. They're all on YouTube too. Not all of them, but there's good ones on YouTube. Watch them. And there's like really thick books written on them. So in my YouTube series, I don't rant that much, right? I would say I don't even know that much to they literally debate for hours and don't even get through half of what they want to talk about, right? So these are things that have been debated for years and years and centuries, right? So don't expect to get all the answers. For me, expect seeds to be planted. You need to do the work on stuff that you're serious about on your own as well. So of course, I think you should look into stuff like, I do believe that there is truth that Jesus existed. There's facts for that. I do believe that there's evidence that not only did he lived, that he is who he says he was, and that he is, and that he did die on the cross, and that he was resurrected. I believe there's evidence for that. And I believe there's evidence that there is a God. So not only just that there's a God, but I think there's evidence pointing towards Christianity. And so when you have doubts, I think you should look into stuff like that. I think that's very healthy. Just like, let's say you doubted, anything else, like whether something worked in a video game or something, you would look into it, you would try it out, you would research it, and you find an answer. We should be more serious about our faith in regards to that, because let's say this, to address something else you said, you didn't want to go through your whole life and it be a waste, right? I 100% believe there's evidence. But let's say, all right, despite that, we were wrong, and there was no God, there's no heaven, there's no Jesus, there's none of that, and you lived your life serving him. I don't think you lived a bad life, man. I think you could have lived a very, very good life. I don't think you wasted much. So if you're wrong, I don't see too much of a downside, personally. Now, on the flip side, if you go the opposite route, and you ain't trying to hear all this Christianity, if you did all this Jesus talk, nah, flip that, and I'm right, and you end up being wrong. And hell is a very real place, and it is a barbecue where you are the meat, eternal, just complete eternal separation from God. And instead of living in perfection in heaven, you live in hell, and it's a really, really bad place. I think that's a lot worse if you're wrong. And don't get it twisted. What I'm saying, I'm not saying off of that alone you should become a Christian, right? I say with those type of consequences, eternal consequences, your life in the span of eternity, all right, let's say this was eternity, like, which is forever and ever and ever, but let's just say this was eternity. Your life is the most microscopic of microscopic dots on this life that you're living. You can live to 500 years. It's still only this big in the grand scheme of eternity. So when we're talking about, when someone tells you there's possible eternal consequences, I think that's something you should look into. So I'm not saying, oh, because of that, I'm gonna just be safe and be a Christian. No, because of that, you should look into it, find out what these facts are, dig deep, and try and get some answers. And then I would also say, you say you've been struggling with some of the feelings. I think sometimes our emotions get in the way, right? There are like, for example, sometimes we just need to lean on what God has already told us in His Word. God tells you that He loves you, but you may feel like, man, God, I don't really feel like you love me. That's how you feel. That doesn't mean that's the truth. Sometimes my girls get in trouble, my girls get spanked, they get put in timeout. In that moment, they might not feel like they love, or that I love them. But only reason I'm doing that is because I love them. I love them to death, but they don't feel it in that moment. Just like you may not feel something in this moment. So our emotions are tricky. We can't always trust them. And I think sometimes we got to be careful off of what we feel, and we need to go off of just what the truth is and what God is and what God said. And so I think you should already have a good grasp of what God is and what God said, because you said you read it, the Bible in school. So I think with everything I told you, the doubt isn't bad. I just think you doing nothing about the doubt is bad. And look, even if you're just the biggest atheist and you just rock with your boy because I'm just that cool Christian dude, and when I do kick him, I'm not aggressive with it, and I don't try and beat it down your guys' throat. That's dope. But even if you're an atheist, I think you should tighten up and really look into why. Don't do it just because you got burned in the past or because you don't understand how bad things can happen. Really dig deep, because from someone like me that loves you, that isn't trying to bug you or pest you or condemn you, just saying, hey, I believe that there's a hell. I think that alone is just like, all right, let me just double check. Even if you're just like, nah, fluff that, fluff God. I don't believe that. I don't believe what you're saying. But let me just double check just in case. Because if I get this wrong and you're actually right, it's gonna suck. So yeah, that's my advice for all you guys. And I don't think there's bad for anybody that comes out of that. If you're an atheist now and you dig deep and you're unbiased with it and you're trying to look at the facts and you still remain an atheist, then I would think that's good for you, right? You're happy. If you do find something and something moves in your heart and stuff starts making sense to you, that's good for you then, right? So, yeah. Alright, hope that helped. I got another question that I'm just going to address just because everyone might not follow everything that I do. But it's a young man here that looks like he's struggling with suicide. He broke up with his girl, or like his girlfriend broke up with him. He's contemplating suicide because of that. He's blocked on all social media. Seems like he dreams about her all the time. He's just heartbroken, right? And so, one, I get it. Like, I've been there. Like, I've had a bad breakup when I was in high school, and I felt like I was distraught. But now it's fluff that hoe. Thank God. But what and I'm just gonna be quicker because I've already addressed this before. But what this is just putting people on a place that only God should be at. You can't have someone so high that I say this all the time, you're only as strong as what you put your faith in. So right now, let's see an example. So let's say, all right, we'll use these mints. This was your girlfriend. You had all of your faith. It looks like you had some of your identity, your happiness. All of it was just packed inside to her. And so guess what happened? She's out the picture. So there, she just took everything, your identity, all of that happiness is gone because you put it in her. Now, I love my wife. I love my kids, my identity, my happiness, my faith. It's not in them. It's not in them. it's in God, because that's the only place where it's safe. God ain't dying. He ain't going nowhere. He ain't turning his back on me. He ain't leaving me. He ain't breaking up with me, right? And so that's the only true place that your faith is really safe. So I think that's the learning lesson. I don't think you should be distraught. I think you should be grateful that you're learning this lesson. It seems like you're young. So cool, you learned that lesson, you're gonna grow from it. I learned it too. It made me better, and I'm grateful for it. And so I just would completely look at it from that perspective. It sucks when people say it, but there's plenty of fish in the sea, and life will go on. Just know that it takes time. It will take time. It's not that it'll be like that. But as these days, it might be a point where they're getting harder and harder, but you just gotta fight it out, and it will get easier. This is a temporary issue, I promise you. I promise you, boo-boo. It is a temporary issue, and do not make a permanent decision off of a temporary issue. This is something that will pass, it will reside, but if you take your own life, there's no coming back from that, man. So just please, if you can hear me on that, just learn the lesson, and just know it's gonna take time, my man. Maybe last one here. Dude says, how do I get to know this girl? I think she is the one, but I got a dude that's bullying me and always saying that I'm never going to get a girl. I typically am not find myself as some advice guru, or not advice guru, some dating advice guru, but I think this is deeper than just, when you see stuff like this is deeper than just talking to a girl. What it is, at the root, it's fear, and you want to attack almost all fear the same, because once you can get over this, you'll stop being a lot more fearful in other areas of your life. So right now, you just scared, alright? You scared, and with fear, right, the great acronym for it is false evidence appearing real. Create all these scenarios in our head that aren't going to happen. But there's no real worst case scenario that is even that bad when talking to girls. So there really shouldn't be no fear. And once you get to that point, it's just an awesome freedom. You can talk to a girl, right now. Juice over there chilling. Juice is good. Juice is happy. Juice has a girlfriend. But let's say Juice didn't. And there's a girl over there. He's enjoying his life. He sees her. He's like, ooh, sexy little thing. He gonna go talk to her. Let's say he talks to her. She says, no, go away. I ain't feeling you. Guess what? Juice walks his happy behind back over there and goes back to enjoying his life. Ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing. Look, you don't have her right now. Are you good? Things probably could be better in your life, right? But are you is your life that bad? And if it is, it can't be because she's not in it. There's got to be something else that's going on. So having her isn't gonna fix that. And then maybe you're looking for something that she will never even be able to feel. Maybe you're just I need her to be happy and to be whole and just be complete. Well, then you need to see the last answer I had. No, that ain't gonna happen. Because what happens when you get with her and you've been with her for a few years and then she starts tripping, or if y'all break up, right? And you got everything within that case of mints and it's gone. I think you should be excited for this. This is a challenge, and I'm excited for you because this is a chance where you get to take a step and overcome a fear that some guys still they died with and never got over it. You can get over it at a young age. Shoot your shot, baby. Like Kobe. Walk up to her. Don't worry about having no kind of game. Smooth talking, impressing. Let her know what time it is. You can approach it honestly however you want. You just need to approach it. Get over the fear. And part of me low-key hopes that you do get shot down and you're going to get better at it. There's just so many areas to grow, and it sucks when you're young. You don't ever see this. But you could get, the worst case scenario here is you get shot down and the bully makes fun of you. That's it. And both of those are things that will make you stronger, because when you can learn to detach what they're saying, their words, because whatever he's saying, right, he's saying you're never going to have a girl. His words are literally just a collection of sounds. There's no significance to them unless you give them significance, right? I could say hibbity hoobla, blah 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 dibbity doo shop la dimbe, right? I could be speaking in tongues, or I could just be saying random stuff that has no significance. But when I say how you doing, that can mean whatever it wants to mean to you. You put the significance behind that. People might say fluff you. I get a lot of hate on the internet, just part of being on the internet, right? I can take that and I can attach significance to it if I want. And when I do, I could be prepared to have my whole day ruined. But those words do not come with significance by default. Nothing that nobody says. So you really have a chance to knock two birds out with one stone. Is potentially get rejected and then learn how to deflect and detach the significance from whatever haters gonna say, right? And when you get older, I never realized, I mean, I never got bullied when I was younger, but even just when people say dumb stuff, you never really realize stuff till you're older. But most people that are bullying, they're coming from such a bad place, man. And 9 out of 10 times when people say some really messed up stuff about me, I'm able to just see through it and be like, man, you got something going on. Because I know a lot of people that are happy, a lot of people that are fulfilled, people that are successful in life, and they do not talk like that. I know them personally. And people that are just, when stuff's going good, they just don't tear people down like that. You just can't find that. And so it's when people are going through some stuff and they're struggling, that's when they try to do that. So as you can learn these lessons through these situations, you'll be fine. So yeah, my approach would be, and with anybody, it doesn't have to be talking to a girl. It could be starting a business, doing whatever. Like, what's the worst case, man? Are you gonna die? All right, boss up, make it happen. Grow from it. But yeah, I hope that helped y'all. I got some other stuff I got to jump on. We got a decent amount of questions, and if it blessed you, if it helps you out in any way, let me know in the comment section. If you have 2 cents to add to this, let your boy know in the comment section. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. You can reach your boy at ReachiMav@gmail.com. And until next time, God first, God bless.